Hello, welcome to the Budapest Pit Shop. We are in a little town called Makó. It's in Hungary, south of Hungary. And this is where my Panhard is, in a museum, in a Model T museum. And we're gonna do some repairs on it today. So here's the Panhard. It's a 1962 French-made car. And the idea is it just got new seats. My friend just redone the upholstery. I think it looks very nice. And then I gotta do some repairs on it. It's gonna get a new exhaust system and got a lot of little goodies what I bought for it. So we're gonna start it up and take it to a shop where we're gonna be able to work on it. I left his car here a while back, and then there was no, I don't think it's ran since I left it here a couple months ago. So we're gonna pump up the fuel pump first and then see if it starts. This is the choke. This one is to disconnect the battery, so that's one shouldn't touch. It's in neutral. Let's try it. She's alive. Yeah, this idle is like it's 6 cylinders is missing, but at least it's running. Before I went to France, to a little town called La Palisse, and I seen the traffic jam where these kind of cars are invading that little town. I never even knew this car existed, but since then I really liking it. So try to make it usable, and then in the fall I'm gonna take it back to Kentucky. A horse-drawn carriage. That's awesome. I got someone who let me use the lift, so we're gonna install the exhaust system here and do the rest of the job back at the museum. Here is the exhaust system what came from France. It was made for this. There are two versions of this car. One was a Tigère. There was a high performance version in parentheses, and then the normal one. So this one is for the Tigère. So we're gonna have dual exhaust on the back, but it's still not gonna have more than 2 cylinders. So I'm gonna open up the box and then let's see what we got. So here's the exhaust out of the box. There is the engine mounts up front, the heat risers over here, which I didn't get any with it. Then there is a suspension piece where I have a new rubber suspension part. And as we go to the back, it's a little bit weird because they welded this one on. I don't know if it's at the right position or not, and I don't know how they thought that this will go in there, but it is what it is. And then you got two muffler mounts, and then the two exhausts on the back. So here's the car lifted up. You can see the rear muffler. It's welded on. We're gonna have to loosen up these bolts and then get the rear muffler off. It's leaking from several places, and the leak actually comes into the cockpit. So yeah, it's really not good as we drive. And then there is a mount up front here, and you can remove these bolts. And then finally in the front, the front one's actually supporting the engine on the front, the engine mounts. So I'm gonna have to put some sort of jack underneath and then hold it up while we change the front part. So I think we're gonna start from the back. I don't know what causing the difference, but the muffler what we got is about 2.5 centimeters higher than this muffler used to be. Maybe the Tiger has some cutouts for the exhaust outlets, I don't know. But my friends over here, they give me an engine mount or some sort of junk part, and now we're gonna cut a piece off to build a spacer out of it, so we can space out the rear muffler so it would hang lower just enough for the exhaust tips to clear the bottom of the rear fenders. Unfortunately, what I got from France, it's a little shorter bracket, so the whole thing doesn't fit. So I'm probably gonna have to ask him to make me a larger one. But for now, we're just trying to put some sort of bushing underneath to fill up this void. We're able to remove both of these exhaust parts, and then now it's on the ground. And on the back, I had to put like a little spacer there to be able to accommodate the size difference what this muffler holder is. So now it's gonna be fine by putting this spacer in it. I'm trying to warm up the nut to get it off. On each side, one nut came off, the other one broke in, but it is what it is. So we're gonna put new ones on anyway in the new exhaust system. The whole engine is rests on this engine mount, and then there are 3 nuts what I have to take off, and then there is another resting place down there, and I need to lift up the engine when I remove this exhaust piece. Now it's moving. The front 3 bolts came out. We were kind of scared that it will or will not, and now finally the whole thing moves. So hopefully it will come out soon. Okay. You can see the valve, the exhaust valve right there, and then I'm gonna put a little ultra copper on it and then tighten it up. The problem is that shape what is out is too long. The pipe is too long, so it's actually not sitting up on the round part of the cylinder, but it's actually bottoms out. So now we're going to try to take it back off and try to cut some piece off of it. The problem is that this piece is too long, so it's not actually touching that round piece. So I'm going to have to cut some off of it, hoping that it will work, because that thing is really thick. This thing is really thin. And also when I push it forward, it's actually bottoms up like this, and this does not touch the nice shape on the cylinder head. Cut a little piece off of it, so hopefully that will give a better chance for it to sit up on this form inside the cylinder. One of the old exhaust flange studs didn't want it to come out, so by cutting this off, hopefully we can put the nut on and we can secure it. We had to use several different bolts to make it happen, but everything is on. Hopefully it will work. We had to move this ear a little bit because it was just too far. Bumper had to come off to get to the left side of it. Well, we had to take the bumper off. This exhaust did not want to come out otherwise. It's cleaned up so I can install the new part without the bumper. The heat riser is tight. It was a really hard game to put that on. I still have to attach the heater valve, and these bolts are done, and I can let it down a little bit to be able to reinstall the bolts. Everything is finished up here. I just need to reinstall that heater cable still, and then we can put the bumper back and start heading backwards with the exhaust. One step forward, now that the front is done, I can connect these pipes, and then here's the hanger where I can hang it up. And then we one step forward. This part is not where it's supposed to stand either, so I gotta see why and try to move it. We'll see what happens. I'm very lucky that last time we just changed this rubber piece, because that will go to the end right here, because that's where it's gonna move a little bit. So the rest of the pipe is all on. I just need to find some clamps to put on. Rear muffler is on. Everything is on. It looks pretty solid. This toilet bowl accessory is on, and that made it really rigid. It doesn't move at all. We got these ones. I think the reason why it was separated so it can be shipped, and then everything else is on. So I think the exhaust system is finished on this car. Perfect. Unfortunately, it's leaking. The exhaust is leaking down there, the heat riser, so we need to try to redo it. trying to take that piece off because the bolts are at the wrong position. The other problem with this exhaust that the heat riser bolts were inserted just a little bit off. So the original part will not go on. We had to hit it on, and now it's really hard to take it off. So we ended up drilling some larger holes on it in order to accommodate the incorrect stud installation. Well, it doesn't leak on the other side, but it does leak on this side, so gotta do this side too. Those bolts were not at the right spot. The left side is just as got holes on the exhaust, like micro holes, and that's why it leaks a little bit. So I tried to put a little bit of paste on it, but I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm gonna have to find 2 of these heat risers. Unfortunately, it's leaking here and also leaking here as well. I don't know how to cure that. We tried to tighten it, but it's not gonna work. Yeah, we moved it forward all the way as far as it goes, and it still leaks a little bit, but I can't really feel it with my hand, but the water is coming out. And over here now it's like a bunch missing, so basically that's how much of an exhaust is missing from the system. I moved this rubber forward a little bit, and then it's barely, but it went together. So let's try it this way. I guess this is it. I'm gonna find one of those longer pipes in the back, and then hoses on the back, and then it should work. So now we're gonna go back to the museum and continue fixing it there. We're back into the museum. I think this is it for today, and the next episode we're gonna continue on with minor repairs. I got little hubcap plugs, and I got 2 of these brand new I need to change, and many other things. Well, thanks for watching, and see you guys in 2 weeks of time, and we're gonna continue on with the little potato.